my channel and welcome if you are new around here. This week's video is all about Halloween craft. I was hoping to do some kind of crafty bits with Oscar to decorate the house for Halloween, as it is coming up next week, and I was looking through Pinterest and so many of the activities I just thought he can't do that, he can't do that, he can't do that, and so I thought I'd do a video of 5 different activities that your toddler can actually do and participate in. Some of them it's more just kind of handprints and footprints and then you do the extra bits, but there's some other activities that they can do a lot of. So let's crack into it and make this a very quick video of 5 super easy things that your toddler can do to do some crafting for Halloween. So I chose these activities because they didn't require too many fancy things. So you just need paper, some black kind of Sharpie pens, some felt tip pens, scissors, masking tape and some paint. I got these ones from IKEA and they wash out really easily. Some kind of paint palette. I'm just using a plate, and if you have rollers or sponges, they're an optional extra, but you definitely don't need them to do these activities. So first up is pumpkin printing. We tried it with half an apple. A good tip here is to actually slice it over half so that you don't end up with the core, so you've got a nice flat surface. You could also use potatoes for this as well, and we also use these little sponges to make little tiny pumpkins as well, but again you could use like a new potato sliced in half to do this. And once they're dry, you just need to use some felt tip pens to add the pumpkin faces and stalks. Next up, we are trying out the handprint bat. So what you need to do is get some black paint and paint your child's hand, except for their thumb, because obviously you're going to need 8 legs on your spider. So once you've painted it black, then try and hold the thumb out of the way and position their hand, which is a little bit tricky because they're not used to what's happening on the paper. Make sure that you push down on their fingers so that you get each individual spider leg. Do this again for the other half of the spider. So again, repaint, clean off the thumb if it has accidentally got any paint on it so that you don't get a 9-legged spider. And then again, just print the other way so that you've got the 2 hands facing out, pressing down on all the fingers. So once it's dry, you just need to add the eyes of the spider. I've just gone for kind of cartoon eyes, and then decorate the background with a giant spider web, and optional extra, you can add little tiny baby spiders. Okay, so this is a super fun and really easy one to do. So all you need to do is get a piece of paper, 2 blobs of paint, and let your child mix with their hands. I used red and yellow, and he was able to do a little bit of colour mixing to get a bit of orange, and then we did blue and green, and he just went all out mixing these together with his hands. And then we decided just to give him all the different colour paints and do that kind of George's Marvellous Medicine big brown gloop, which he absolutely loved mixing around. So we did that and then let them dry, and they ended up looking like this. Not very much of interest, but then if you draw on top of them some potion bottles. So I did, this one was poison, and then I did a witch's brew, and then I did some toxic potion. Cut them out and you'll end up with some lovely bottles, and this worked out really well. If you did a lot, you could make it actually into some bunting. The fourth activity is creating a witch, and we're actually going to do two different types. So the first type, you are going to paint your child's foot green. You could do this with a paintbrush if you don't have a roller, just as easy. So one green footprint in the middle of an A4 piece of paper. Just make sure that you press down all their toes so that you get the full footprint. And then all you're going to do is turn this into a witch if your child lets you. And then witch round 2 is again painting your child, but this time they're hand green, and one big green handprint in the middle of your A4 piece of paper. Again, make sure that you push down so that you get all the digit outlines, and then turning it into a witch riding a broomstick this time. Okay, activity number 5. You are going to need some card. I'm just using the outside of my paper pad, and then draw some outlines of some ghosts, and then cut them all out and use some masking tape to stick them down on a piece of paper. I've chosen to do like a long strip banner kind of thing, and Oscar helped me stick them down. Obviously, if they've got little tails or anything, just make sure that everything is stuck so that when it's painted on top that they're not going to peel up. Oscar helped me stick them all down, and we got to this stage, and then we used rollers and stampers. Again, if you don't have these, you could either make your stampers out of potatoes and things like that, or you could do brushes, or you could do finger painting, whichever works for you. I chose kind of nighttime sky colours, black, dark blue, light blue, and Oscar used the rollers and the stampers to just cover the entire piece of paper. This did take quite a while because I chose quite a big piece of paper. But once it was dry, then you just peel off your ghost silhouettes and you are left with your white shape underneath. Okay, that's the end of this week's video. I hope that has inspired you to get crafting with your toddler. I'll warn you, it is not always mess-free, but it is definitely lots of fun. So we'll see you again next week. Say bye, Oscar.